Warning signs. The first thing Liam Reed noticed was the flashing red light on his console. The second was the sudden silence as the engines of his exploration vessel cut out completely. Mission Control. This is Captain Reed. I'm experiencing multiple system failures, he reported. His fingers flying across the emergency protocols panel, static answered him as the communications system joined the growing list of malfunctions. The small exploration ship shuddered violently. Through the viewport, Liam could see the swirling lavender atmosphere of Zephyria growing larger by the second. What had started as a routine planetary survey was rapidly becoming a fight for survival. Come on, he muttered, wrestling with the manual landing controls. The ship's hull groaned in protest as it entered Zephyria's atmosphere at too steep an angle. Warning alarms blared from every direction. Descent Liam had trained for emergency landings. But nothing could prepare him for the reality of plummeting toward an alien planet with failing systems and no backup. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he fought to maintain some semblance of control over the dying ship. The purple landscape below rushed up to meet him, strange. Undulating forests of crystalline structures that might have been beautiful under different circumstances. Now they just looked like jagged teeth waiting to tear his ship apart. With the last of the auxiliary power, Liam managed to deploy the emergency landing thrusters, slowing his descent just enough to make survival possible. The impact still came with bone-crushing force, throwing him against his restraints before everything went black. First contact pain brought him back to consciousness, sharp, radiating pain from his chest and leg. The acrid smell of burning circuitry filled the cockpit, which was now tilted at a sickening angle. Blood trickled into Liam's eyes from a gash on his forehead. Mission Control, he tried weakly, knowing even as he spoke that his communications were dead. This is Reed. Crash landed on Zephyria. Coordinates, ... double quotes. He trailed off. Realizing the navigation system was offline too, a sound outside the crumpled hull made him freeze. Something was out there, moving around the ship. Liam reached for the emergency pack, wincing as the movement sent fresh waves of pain through his ribs. He managed to extract the compact laser pistol, just as a section of the damaged hull groaned and peeled away. Brilliant lavender light flooded the cockpit, temporarily blinding him. When his vision cleared, Liam found himself staring into the most extraordinary eyes he had ever seen, iridescent violet irises that seemed to shimmer with their own inner light. "The healer, you're injured," said a melodic voice. The figure moved closer, revealing itself to be distinctly feminine despite the alien features. Her skin was a soft purple hue that seemed to glow from within. Complemented by flowing silver-white hair that moved as if suspended in water, Liam raised his weapon instinctively, but found his hand trembling too badly to aim properly. "I won't harm you," the alien woman said, her words perfectly understandable despite an accent he couldn't place. "My name is Naya. I'm a healer." She reached toward him slowly, her slender fingers extended. Liam noticed the delicate pattern of luminescent markings that spiraled up her arms. ... "How can I understand you?" he managed to ask, his voice rough with pain and thirst. Naya's lips curved into a gentle smile. "My people learn languages through touch," she explained. "I found pieces of your vessel before finding you. They contained your language." When she touched his injured leg, a cool sensation spread from her fingers, dulling the pain immediately. Liam's eyes widened in surprise. "You need proper care," Naya said, her violet eyes reflecting concern. "My dwelling is not far. Can you move?" With her help, Liam extracted himself from the wreckage of his ship. Leaning heavily on her surprisingly strong frame as they took their first steps together across the alien landscape of Zephyria. A strange new world, though. Journey to Naya's dwelling was a blur of pain and wonder for Liam. As they moved through the crystalline forest, he glimpsed creatures that defied Earth's biology, translucent, six-legged herbivores grazing on glowing vegetation. Winged serpents that coiled around the upper branches of tree-like structures. Despite his injuries, Liam couldn't suppress his scientist's curiosity. "Your world," he gasped, as they paused for him to rest. "It's incredible." Naya smiled, her violet eyes catching the light of Zephyria's setting binary suns. "To me, It is simply home. Just as your earth would seem wondrous to my eyes, her dwelling emerged from the landscape so naturally that Liam nearly missed it, a graceful structure grown rather than built, spiraling upward from the living rock of a small cliff face. Inside, the walls pulsed with a gentle bioluminescence that responded to Naya's presence, brightening as she helped him to a cushioned surface that molded itself to his body. "You have multiple fractures and internal bleeding," she said after examining him, her hands hovering inches above his chest. "Without treatment, you will not survive until morning. The bond, can you help me?" Liam asked, fear finally breaking through his explorer's composure. Naya hesitated, her luminescent markings flickering with what seemed like anxiety. "There is a way, but it requires a temporary bond between us. My people, the Zephyrians, can channel our life energy to heal others. But it creates a connection that some find ... intrusive." "What kind of connection?" Liam asked, wincing as a fresh wave of pain washed over him. "I would sense your emotions, glimpse your memories, and you would sense mine. The effect fades with time, but never completely disappears." Her eyes met his, serious and compassionate. "It is your choice." Pain clouded Liam's judgment, but the alternative was clear. "Do it," he whispered. "Please." Naya nodded solemnly and placed her hands on his chest, directly over his heart. Her touch was cool against his fevered skin. She closed her eyes and began humming a melody that seemed to vibrate through Liam's entire body. "Now you're mine," she whispered, "and I am yours. Let me heal you." Worlds collide. The sensation began subtly, warmth spreading from her fingertips into his damaged body. Then it intensified, becoming a rush of energy that made Liam gasp. Colors exploded behind his closed eyelids. Purples, silvers, and blues he'd never imagined. With them came flashes of memory that weren't his own. A young Naja running through fields of crystal flowers. Her first healing of an injured forest creature. The pride of her community when she was recognized as a gifted healer. Simultaneously, he felt her experiencing his memories. The wonder of his first spacewalk. The loss of his father that drove him to explore the stars. The loneliness of deep space missions. Hours seemed to pass in seconds. When Liam finally opened his eyes, the pain had subsided to a dull ache. Naya sat beside him, her luminescence dimmed with exhaustion, but her eyes bright with wonder. "I have never connected with someone from another world," she said softly. "Your mind is ... beautiful, so full of curiosity and courage." Liam tried to sit up, surprised to find he could move without agony. "What you did? Thank you. I've never experienced anything like it." "Rest now," Naya said, her hand lingering on his for a moment longer than necessary. "The healing is not complete, but you will live. We can talk more tomorrow," as she moved away to prepare a sleeping space for herself. Liam found himself watching her movements with newfound fascination. Something had changed between them. Something neither of them had anticipated. He could still feel her presence at the edges of his consciousness, a gentle whisper that felt strangely like coming home. Learning to see days passed as Liam recovered under Naya's care. Each morning, she would check his healing injuries, her touch lingering a little longer each time. The bond between them remained, subtler now, but undeniably present a constant awareness of each other's emotions that you neither mentioned but both felt. "Your body heals quickly," Naya remarked as she removed the last of the bandages from his chest. "You are strong for someone from a low-gravity world." "NASA's selection process is rigorous," Liam explained, trying not to focus on the pleasant coolness of her fingers against his skin. "Only the fittest make it through astronaut training." Naya tilted her head curiously. "What made you want to explore other worlds?" The question was simple, but with their bond, Liam knew she could feel the complex emotions behind his answer. "When I was a child, my father would take me stargazing. He told me that somewhere out there were answers to questions we hadn't even thought to ask yet." He smiled at the memory. "After he died, those stars became a connection to him. Every new discovery feels like a conversation we're still having. Shared secrets in the afternoons." Naya would take Liam on short walks to rebuild his strength. She showed him the wonders of her world, the crystalline pools where memory fish swam in synchronous patterns, the resonating caverns where Zephyrian music was born, the ancient grove where her people communed with their ancestors in return. Liam shared stories of Earth describing oceans and mountains, cities and deserts, trying to capture the diversity of his home planet. He showed her the few personal items that had survived the crash: a photograph of his parents, a small chess set his father had given him, a thumb drive containing Earth's classical music. "Your world sounds chaotic," Naya said as they sat watching the sunset one evening, "but beautiful in its complexity." "What about your family?" Liam asked, suddenly realizing she never spoke of them. Naya's luminescence dimmed slightly, and through their bond, Liam felt a wave of conflicted emotions. "My parents died during the Great Fade when I was young. Since then, I have lived mostly alone. It's dedicated to my healing practice." She hesitated, then added, "Though soon I will not be alone." "The shadow between them, what do you mean?" Liam asked, sensing her unease. Naya turned away, her silver-white hair catching the dying light. "I am promised to Krell, a warrior of high standing. It was arranged years ago by our community elders." The revelation hit Liam with unexpected force. Through their bond, Naya must have felt his sharp disappointment because she quickly added, "It is our way. Healers and warriors often pair to balance our community's needs. Do you love him?" The question escaped before Liam could stop it. "Love is not required for pairing," she answered softly. "Respect and compatibility are what matter." That night, as they returned to her dwelling in silence, Liam realized two uncomfortable truths. His feelings for Naya had grown far beyond gratitude, and his rescue beacon would eventually activate, forcing him to choose between worlds, as if sensing his thoughts. Naya stopped and turned to him, her violet eyes reflecting the emerging stars. "We should not speak of what we both feel," she whispered, "but I find myself unable to silence my heart." Without thinking, Liam reached out, his fingers gently brushing against her cheek. The contact sent a surge through their bond: desire, confusion, something deeper that neither dared name. "What happens?" he asked hoarsely. "I don't want to leave when my people come for me." Instead of answering, Naya stepped closer, eliminating the space between them. Her hands moved to his chest, exactly where they had rested during that first healing. "Now, you're mine," she whispered again. But this time the words carried a different meaning entirely. "And I am yours." When their lips met, the bond between them flared like a supernova, temporarily erasing all thoughts of different worlds, rescue beacons, and promised pairings. In that moment, there was only Naya and Liam, and the impossible connection neither had sought, but both now treasured. The signal awakens the emergency beacon on Liam's crashed ship, chose the worst possible moment to activate, just as dawn broke after a night where boundaries had blurred between healer and patient, between alien and human. Liam woke to the sound of an insistent beeping from the salvaged communications device he'd kept nearby. "What is that?" Naya asked, her iridescent eyes still heavy with sleep, purple skin glowing softly in the morning light. Liam stared at the blinking light, his heart sinking. "It's my rescue beacon. It's finally connected with my ship's satellite network." He looked up at her, conflicting emotions warring within him. "My people know where I am. They'll be coming for me." Through their bond, he felt her immediate distress, quickly masked behind a composed expression. "How long?" she asked simply. "A few days, maybe a week." He reached for her hand. "Naya, She pulled away, her luminescent markings pulsing with agitation. "This is good news. You will return to your world. It's how you should." Her words contradicted the feelings flooding their bond. "What if I don't want to go?" Leah moved closer, tracing the delicate pattern on her arm with his fingertips. "What if everything I want is right here?" Their conversation was interrupted by a thunderous knock that shook the dwelling's entrance. Naya's eyes widened in alarm. "Krell," she whispered. He wasn't due to return from his border patrol for another cycle. The warrior who entered was everything Liam wasn't: tall, even by Zephyrian standards. with broad shoulders and luminescent markings that formed aggressive patterns across his muscular purple skin. His eyes narrowed as they fell on Liam, then widened as he sensed something in the air between the human and Naya. "You've bonded with this outsider?" Krell's voice was deep, tinged with disbelief. He turned to Naya. "I felt a disturbance in our preliminary pairing link. I returned immediately to find ... this. I had to heal him," Naya explained, stepping between them. "The bond was necessary for." "This is more than a healing bond," Krell interrupted, his markings flaring bright with anger. "I can sense it. All of Zephyria will sense it." He turned his fierce gaze on Liam. "Do you understand what you've done, human? You've interfered with a sacred arrangement." Liam stood taller despite the intimidating presence before him. "I understand that Naya deserves to choose her own path." Krell's laugh was cold. "You know nothing of our ways. By our most ancient laws, there is only one way to resolve this." He drew a crystalline blade from his belt. "The challenge of souls. If you truly believe your bond with her is worthy, you will face me at tomorrow's dual sunset." Preparations after Krell stormed out. Naya turned to Liam with fear in her eyes. "You cannot accept his challenge. Krell is our fiercest warrior. The challenge of souls isn't just physical combat, it exposes the deepest parts of both participants." "Explain it to me," Liam said, determination setting in. Despite his scientific background, found himself willing to embrace Zephyrian traditions if it meant a chance to stay with Naya. Throughout the day, she taught him what he needed to know the ritual movements, the focusing techniques that would protect his mind during the challenge. "The crystal blades don't just cut flesh," she explained. "They reveal truth. Each strike exposes a memory, a fear, a desire. Many cannot bear such exposure." As evening approached, Liam sat at the edge of the crystal forest, watching the first sun beginning its descent. His rescue beacon continued its steady blinking, reminder of the world he'd left behind. "Your people will arrive within days," Naya said softly, joining him. "You could avoid the challenge. Return to Earth." Liam turned to her, reaching for her hands. "Since I crashed here, I've discovered something I never found in all my explorations of space connection." He pressed his forehead to hers, their bond humming between them. "Earth will always be there. But you are once in a lifetime." As the light faded, Naya pressed something cool into his Palma crystal pendant that matched the patterns of her own luminescent markings. "Wear this tomorrow," she whispered. "It contains my healing energy. It may not save you, but it will keep us connected." Whatever happens, Liam closed his fingers around it, feeling the gentle pulse of her essence within. "Tomorrow, I fight for us. For the right to choose my own path, and for you to choose yours." That night, as they lay together beneath the alien stars, neither spoke of the dangers ahead. Instead, they simply held each other, their bond communicating what words could not, that whatever tomorrow brought, what they had found together had already changed both their worlds forever. The challenge, the ceremonial grounds, were ancient, a perfect circle of crystalline sand surrounded by towering formations that amplified every sound. By the time Liam arrived, guided by Nia, a crowd of Zephyrians had gathered to witness the unprecedented challenge between a human and one of their warriors. "Remember what I taught you," Nia whispered, her cool fingers lingering on his arm. "The blade seeks truth. Don't resist it, but don't let it consume you either." Krell already stood in the center of the circle, his powerful form gleaming in the light of the setting suns. The crystal blade in his hand caught the dying light, fracturing it into prismatic patterns across the ground. An elder stepped forward, her age evident in the complexity of the luminescent patterns that covered her purple skin. "This challenge of souls will determine the truth of bonds," she announced. "May the deepest connection prevail." Liam stepped into the circle. The pendant Naya had given him warm against his chest. He held his own crystal blade awkwardly, still unfamiliar with its weight and purpose. Krell moved first, faster than Liam had anticipated. Their blades met with a resonant chime that sent vibrations up Liam's arm and straight into his mind. Suddenly, he wasn't just in the ceremonial grounds, he was also in his childhood home. Watching his father point out constellations through a telescope, the crowd gasped as the memory projected visibly around them, shimmering like a hologram. Krell pressed his advantage, driving Liam back with another strike. Truths revealed with each clash of blades, memories and emotions erupted around them. Liam saw fragments of Krell's past, a young warrior desperate to prove himself. The pride when he was chosen to pair with a healer, the sense of honor and duty that drove his every action. But Liam also began to understand something crucial. Krell's feelings for Naya were based on respect and tradition, not the deep connection that had formed so unexpectedly between the human and the healer. As the second sun began to dip below the horizon, Liam found himself tiring. A particularly powerful blow from Krell sent him sprawling to the ground, his blade skittering away. The warrior stood over him, triumphant. "You fought well for an outsider," Krell said, raising his blade for a final strike. "But your kind does not belong here." As the blade descended, Liam clutched Naya's pendant. It flared with brilliant light, stopping Krell's strike mid-air. Around them, the projected memory shifted, showing not just Liam's feelings for Naya, but the healer's reciprocal emotions, their growing bond, their shared experiences. The way their different perspectives had enriched each other. The crowd murmured in amazement as the display continued, showing a depth of connection rarely seen even among Zephyrians. Krell stepped back, his blade lowering slowly as understanding dawned on his face. "The bond speaks," the elder announced. "It shows a truth beyond tradition." She turned to Krell. "Warrior, do you acknowledge what has been revealed?" After a long moment, Krell nodded stiffly. "I recognize a true bond when I see one." He looked at Liam with newfound respect. "Take care of her, human. She deserves nothing less than complete devotion." Forever as twilight deepened, Liam found himself standing with Naya at the edge of the crystal forest, watching his rescue ship descend through Zephyria's lavender atmosphere. His Earth colleagues had responded to the beacon right on schedule. "You could still go home," Naya said softly. "Your world needs its explorers." Liam turned to her, taking both her hands in his. Through their bond he could feel her conflicted emotions, her desire for him to stay warring with her fear that he would regret abandoning his own world. "I've been thinking about that," he said. "What if I don't have to choose? What if I could be a bridge between our worlds?" The rescue ship touched down in the distance, stirring up iridescent dust. "Earth has never made official contact with sentient alien life," Liam continued. "They sent me to explore to find exactly what I've found. Not just a new world, but a new understanding. Understanding dawned in Naya's violet eyes. You want to establish relations between our peoples?" Liam nodded. "I can introduce your healing techniques to Earth and bring Earth science to Zephyria. Both our worlds would benefit." He pulled her closer, and we wouldn't have to be apart. As the rescue team emerged from their ship in the distance, Naya placed her hands on Liam's chest, directly over his heart, mirroring their first connection. "Now you're mine," she whispered, "forever." "And you're mine," he responded, feeling their bond pulse between them stronger than ever. The path ahead would not be simple, introducing to worlds, navigating cultural differences, explaining to his superiors why he had formed an unbreakable bond with an alien healer. But as Naya stood by his side, her purple skin glowing in the starlight, Liam knew that some connections transcend worlds. Together, they walked toward the approaching Earth team, ready to begin their greatest exploration yet, the journey of bringing two civilizations together. With their hearts as the first bridge between stars,